The mob's out to kill Rockford. Ben, Eyeshide tangles with a vigilante cop.
Next on Newscenter 3 tonight, Iran demands cooperation from its American hostages, while a chemical spill sends an Omaha fireman to the hospital. Midland's ranchers chew on Bob Bergland some, and Chicago's mayor says goodbye to what looks like 10 years. Details are next on Newscenter 3 tonight.
Hi, I'm Pat Kuroishi, World Radio's buyer. And this Christmas, we've got everything you need, including a huge selection of handheld games as low as $22.88. Portable AM/FM radios with cassette players from just $59.95, and portable radios for as low as $4.98. And we've got a store full of great gift ideas, too. So this Christmas, don't fool around. Hurry out and see the people who really know stereo. World Radio.
These lines determine how sharp your color TV picture will be. They're called lines of resolution. And the more lines, the sharper the picture. Magnavox has 25% more lines for a 25% sharper color picture than ever before possible. Magnavox. We make staying home fun.
Every 1980 model is sale priced now at Mission Television and Appliance Center in Bellevue.
Here's what Roden Track's Letter from Europe columnist had to say about the new Audi 4000 after a run through Germany, Switzerland, Italy, and France. A brilliant piece of engineering. By far the best car announced in the past year. In fact, it's the best full-size European car under 2 liters. Test drive the new Audi 4000 at your Porsche Audi dealer and see if you don't agree.
Novak Porsche Audi, 2111 Douglas Street.
Skycam on top of the news. John McDonald, Chuck Roberts, Dick Fletcher, Dale Hansen, and Newscenter 3 tonight.
Good evening. Unanimous opinions are rare in the United Nations, but today the Security Council spoke as one voice, denouncing the taking of 50 American hostages in Iran. The 15 members asked the hostages be released unharmed, provided protection, and allowed to leave the country. The resolution asks the U.S. and Iran to resolve differences peacefully, to exercise the utmost restraint in their statements and actions in the meantime. And it orders the Secretary General to try and implement the Security Council order and to report back on his progress. The resolution took 4 days to hammer out.
Will those in favor please raise their hand?
We are deeply appreciative. We hope that this call by the Security Council will be heeded and carried out by the government of Iran in a matter of hours.
McHenry said the United States is not deaf to the grievances Iran has been claiming and is willing to sit down and discuss them after the hostages are released. The Soviet Union voted for that resolution today, but issued a statement accusing Washington of using crude military and political pressure against Iran.
Iran is reacting swiftly, very swiftly tonight, Chuck. Iran's first reaction to the United States news from the UN is to threaten the hostages with death and vow to put them on trial right away. Iranian Foreign Minister Sadak Gopsadeh says the 50 Americans definitely will be tried and that their judges will be the young Iranians who have been holding them hostage. The Americans are now being threatened with death if they fail to cooperate. It's not clear tonight what kind of cooperation the militants want from the hostages. Meanwhile, a public feud has now begun in Tehran's newspapers between Gopsadeh and the man he replaced as Foreign Minister, Abel Bani Sadr. Gopsadeh is reacting to Bani Sadr's latest quotes about him by uncharacteristically avoiding reporters. Agriculture Secretary Bob Bergland is returning to Washington with his ears smarting tonight from the harsh criticism leveled at him during his agriculture meeting in South Sioux City today. Bergland had invited farmers and ranchers to the meeting, he said, so they could air and discuss their problems, but many farmers tell Kathy Sorrentos the hearing was a farce.
Ricky Jones had to leave his farm in Brownville at 5 in the morning to travel the 200 miles to South Sioux City. He says he wasn't expecting much, but he couldn't miss this meeting. He's one more farmer having money problems.
For advice from any of you who may want to answer.
He wanted to hear Bob Bergland. Corky was curious to see if the secretary would take their suggestions and use them in a new farm policy like he's promised to do. For Smiley Vonderschmidt, the trip north was even longer and filled with more despair. Last week, Smiley had to auction his farm equipment. He can't afford to farm anymore, but he wants to support the movement. He says meetings like this one are not going to help.
It's just so much gobbledygook, really, and they're not really talking about what they really should be talking about. When it comes right down to it, they're going to have to pay the farmers.
And there was one more complaint. Farmers say the USDA handpicked the speakers and stacked the testimony against the ag movement.
There's no American Ag member speaking today. I know all of our requests and any of the people in our immediate area were turned down.
Do you think the refusal may have been deliberate?
I do, yes.
The farmers say they're not the only ones who didn't like what they heard. They say others will be infuriated to learn that after all this time, no one's listening. Maybe more will join the movement now. They say banding together is their last resort. Kathy Sorantos, Newscenter 3.
Gasohol plants may be built in Nebraska in spite of a state Supreme Court ruling today striking down much of a new law designed to encourage that business. John Nickel has the story.
Although you have seen plenty of gasohol being sold at the pump in this state, so far there has not been a single alcohol plant built in Nebraska for the production of gasohol. The state's guarantee to pay for bonds to build the plants hasn't worked, apparently, and that's the law the Supreme Court struck down. In a unanimous decision, the court said the law is unconstitutional because it indirectly permits the state to incur a debt of more than $100,000. The Supreme Court decision came on a day when most of the big names associated with gasohol in Nebraska were in San Antonio for a national gasohol convention. That may be more than ironic, but Senator John DeCamp was here. He said it was both good news and bad news.
All the gasohol that's being sold is simply coming from excess alcohol of breweries, alcohol from commercial plants that were for other purposes, but because they can take advantage of the subsidies, they're directing it into gasohol. But the whole purpose of gasohol, to make us energy independent, you have yet to have the first plant built in this United States. And that's not right. That's what the purpose of this bill was, to get plants built today, and now the Supreme Court wiped that out.
DeCamp says the hucksters in the gasohol business have been killing it, and the court ruling may be good news in that respect. It could eliminate the ones who just want to soak the government subsidy and go nowhere with gasohol. The man who founded the gasohol movement in Nebraska, Bellwood Senator Lawrence Schmidt, is in Texas at the gasohol convention. DeCamp says Schmidt was not pleased with the news, but he certainly should have some new material for his speech at that convention this week. John Nickel, Newscenter 3.
Omaha firemen are still trying to neutralize a toxic chemical spill at the Pacific Intermountain truck lot at 76th and F Streets. Lots and lots of water is being poured on a couple of leaking barrels and a load of 65 brought into the PIE lot. A highly toxic fume sent fireman Vern Stinson to Bergen Mercy Hospital. He's in good condition. No evacuation of the area was needed because southwest winds blew fumes away from residential areas. Fire crews, though, are still on the scene, and we're not sure what chemical is involved. Apparently, though, no attempt to move